Hello. Welcome back to another episode of House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 4, Fire in the Sky. Breakdown and biggest twist. This week sees an all-out battle and the loss of a crucial player. The Targaryen dragons are an exception to this norm. In the source texts, many Meisters and royals hypothesize that dragons are neither male nor female, but can switch genders as needed. They are, indeed, the fire that helps turn back the ice of the Night King and his zombie minions in Game of Thrones, as well as the most majestic and awe-inspiring living creatures in Westeros' bestiary. However, they are also the embodiment of death, capable of wreaking havoc on both military and civilian populations on an industrial scale. And if necessary, they can be summoned to slay one another in battles as vicious as they are stunning. There's a reason why researchers in Martin's fictional universe refer to the Targaryen Civil War as the Dance of the Dragons. The combat is both ecstatic and disgusting, often in the same scene. The three-way combat in this episode between Princess Rhaenys and her red dragon Melis, King Aegon Roman II and his magnificently golden Sunfire, and Prince Aemond One-Eye and the huge beast Vhagar exemplifies the dragon's dualism. The script, written by co-creator and showrunner Ryan Condal, includes a lengthy build-up to the climactic battle at Rook's Rest, a trap set by the hand of the king, Sir Criston Cole, and his primary ally, Prince Aemond, to lure black dragons and their riders to their doom with glory shots of Melis and Sunfire on their way to war. The filmmaker, Alan Taylor, a trademark talent on Game of Thrones, emphasizes the splendor that the world will miss if these animals die. He also makes it clear what kind of horrors the world will witness if they survive. Rook's Rest is a nightmare of men being burned, crushed, and fleeing for their lives from what appear to be flying nuclear dinosaurs. For the most part, the riders give it their all, but Dragon Fire and Dragon Feet aren't picky about who they kill. Indeed, the episode's most shocking scene occurs when Aemond, who delayed his own assault after his loathed brother Aegon unexpectedly entered the battle to avoid appearing weak, turns Vhagar against not only their enemy Rhaenys but also Aegon. At the battle's conclusion, only Sir Criston's timely intervention saves Aemond from marching across Sunfire's broken body and putting his fallen, burned brother out of his suffering. The battle also signifies Princess Rhaenys' death. Despite her initial escape from Aemond, Aegon, and their dragons, she decides to return and continue the struggle. The actor Eve Best's eyes have a dismal cast in that moment, as if Rhaenys is aware that she is choosing death. Sign up for the Watching newsletter, which is only for Times subscribers. Watch television and movie recommendations from critic Margaret Lyons and her friends. Try it for 4 weeks. It's straightforward to say that her prior experience with Alan of Hull, her husband's bastard son who saved his life at sea, has caused her grief, but Rhaenys has never been so attached to her marriage. It is more likely that she was simply in for a penny and a pound. Now that the war she had long wished to avoid has begun, she may as well try to win it. However, I worry if her decision is motivated by hopelessness. One of Season 1's most contentious moments was Rhaenys' decision to spare the Green royal family despite having the option of burning them all alive. So far, every episode of Season 2 has focused on the lengths Rhaenyra and Alicent are willing to go to avert outright conflict between dragons, with both of them fearing not only the safety of their loved ones, but believe it or not the good of the realm itself. In that light, Rhaenys' caution last season makes sense. Had Rhaenyra or Alicent been in the same situation, we now know that neither would have pulled the gun. The same cannot be said for Daemon, who spends this episode combating hallucinations caused by either Harrenhal's curse or the power of its resident witch, Alice Rivers. His journey through those dank, crumbling rooms is charmingly gothic, with nods to other genre icons. In his visions, Daemon pursues a doppelganger of himself and beheads a young Rhaenyra, just as Luke Skywalker murdered Darth Vader, only to see his own visage in The Empire Strikes Back. He sees himself with bloodied hands, just like Lady Macbeth. He begins when he sees a black goat, who appears to be Black Phillip from Robert Eggers' horror film The Witch. This is not the type of steady intellect you want at the helm of your army. Nor would Aemond or Criston, the Green's vicious ringleaders, or Aegon, who is simply striving to keep up with his brother and his hand, have hesitated to burn their opponents. Despite their flaws, the Black and Green Queens are the Seven Kingdoms' best defense against an all-out massacre. At least they were up until recently. Alicent may have realized that her late husband, Viserys, did not want their son Aegon to assume the Iron Throne. But she has also realized that it doesn't matter. The significance of Viserys' intentions died with him, she informs her son's new master of whisperers, Larys the Clubfoot. Yes, it did, he says. Another HBO show famously said, if it's a lie, we fight on it. But we have to fight. Rhaenyra, for example, realizes she can no longer reason with Alicent.